Hello, everybody. All right, give me a sec here. I'm going to start Instagram, go live. Come on, so Instagram's still catching up here. Hang on. There we go. Go live Instagram. All right, there we go. All right, and Substack is here. Let me pull up my Substack that I can hopefully find the show so I can see comments. And then we are set. Oh, there's Substack. There it is. There it is. All right. Well, Substack, as always, will take a bit for people to join, I'm assuming. Somebody's there already at Substack. Excellent. All right. Okay. I've got Substack there. I can see you. I can see Discord. I've got YouTube, etc. And what I don't have yet is I didn't set up TikTok yet. Well, there's only so much I can do. All right, give me a second here, guys. That will take a moment. I usually do set up TikTok. It's like too many. You can't believe the number of like places I'm trying to stream to, and it's just a little bit of confusing each day when I do this. All right, let me 1 second here. TikTok. All right. TikTok. There we go. 1 second here. TikTok seems to have slowed down lately. I think they did something to the software. Okay. Hold on. All right. Good. That's good. One more thing. And we are ready. Oh, hey, Gunther. Oh, that's a cute photo of you. All right. One more second here, guys. Sparkle pony. That's very funny. They're sparkle ponies. Let's do sparkle ponies. I think those are very funny. I like the whole concept of there being a sparkle pony. All right, go live. All right. All right, TikTok's going live. We are good. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Now, I don't remember. You guys never complain on YouTube and stuff whether my image is backwards or forwards or whatever. I never quite know. You're not getting much more volume because yesterday it like blew it out of the room. Something happened that affected the volume. We don't know what. Give it a minute because the volume also I've already got the volume on a higher level right now. The volume automatically adjusts. So well, for TikTok, your volume should be very loud on TikTok, I suspect. But for everybody else, it should, I know War with Iran, yay! Yay! Yes, many crazy things in the news today. What do you do? See, now it's loud. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It's loud or it's fine on YouTube, etc. Hopefully it's all right. This is what I mean. It's hard because also for some reason, for some people it's off and other people it's good. It's just kind of a very annoying setup. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome back. John Arvosis here with our show. I'm in Washington, D.C. Hello, Washington, D.C. And we are going to talk about the latest Ukraine. Can't even talk anymore. Iran is our big story for the day. Is there good news today? Trump's hand looks awful. We're going to talk about that at the very end. Other than that, I'd have to look. I don't think there's too much good news today. I don't think so. Yeah, a little bit. Not much, though. A little bit, but not much. Not much. Sasha says, I know she's going to be thirsty in a minute. That's the given, you know. Anyway, welcome, guys. I'm John Arvosis. This is my show. We do this Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern, talk about the latest news from America, etc. Yeah, the volume, who knows what's up with the volume? I can't figure it out. I've already got the volume at the higher level than normal right now. So hopefully, the problem is, like I said, for TikTok, I'm sure the volume's fine. And the louder I put it for you guys, it's going to start blowing out TikTok. But the volume should be fine. I don't know what the hell happened with the volume. I mean, I do know what happened. StreamYard did something, you know. Yeah, volume's always good on TikTok. Anyway. All right. Anyway, guys, welcome. Yeah, Anderson Cooper left CBS. That was very interesting. CBS has been taken over by the devil. So not surprisingly, and CNN, they're getting one step closer to taking over CNN now. Trump's people. Very scary what's happening in our country. Very, very scary. But let's get rolling. So anyway, welcome, guys. Jenna Rose is here. I always mention I appreciate your gifts because I do. They're very helpful, so appreciate that. So please keep them coming. And super fans are even better on TikTok. Join my fan club, exactly. Because the super fans, we do a show on the weekend for you guys, only for you guys. But also your gifts in general are very helpful. I don't know who the hell that is, Jalen. No clue who that is. All right. Oh, that's the Sparkle Pony. That was very funny. I was wondering what that was. That was from Carol. Thank you, Carol. That was actually very funny. I read Sparkle Pony and I'm like, Sparkle Pony, that sounds hilarious. Oh, Chinese New Year? Is that true? Is it Chinese New Year? I think I saw something on that the other day, actually. Yeah. I think so. All right. Anyway, let's get rolling, guys. So Iran, Trump's getting ready to blow up Iran. Still wait to see what happens. There was an interesting story in Axios. They're very good. They're a local, sort of Washington, D.C. based political paper, whatever, news source online. Axios was saying that basically sources were telling them people do not fully appreciate how close we are to all-out war with Iran and how big this war is going to be. Trump, and I know you really shouldn't trust Trump, but you know, we're talking about people who talk to Trump, not Trump, because nobody trusts him because he's a pathological liar. But what is happening is Trump is preparing for a war that is going to be much bigger than people realize. And Ash, yeah, that one obviously gets blocked. Exactly. Thanks, Ash. He's planning regime change. He's planning to take out the regime. He's planning on, wiping. I mean, this is Iraq scale invasion of Iran that's being planned. Now, as I've said before, I have zero sympathy for the Iranian regime. They're horrible. But, and I also have, oh, hey, Imaman, I can't even, Imaman can hear. I can't pronounce your name on YouTube, but hi. I have zero sympathy for Iranians. I'm also Iranian government. I am pretty pro-military action when it comes to it, but I am not a fan of military action if you're an idiot and you don't know what you're doing. You've got to have a plan in place. You've got to have a, what's the word I'm looking for here? You've got to have a plan, not just a plan for victory. It's got to be clear that we can win, right? It's got to be clear that we can win. And it's not clear what victory is in this case. Trump is, again, according to Axios, Trump is planning all-out war with Iran. We are talking massive bombing campaigns with Iran. This is not a small thing he's planning. This is Iraq scale, Iraq war scale invasion. And the problem is, like Aquarius just said, what's the end game? What's the goal? I am convinced the goal is regime change. Thank you, Norway. From all the weapons Trump has moved and all the experts, regime change seems to be the goal here. Again, like, it's weird because Trump always does this. He's such a sort of incompetent guy that he always puts me in a weird spot on foreign policy. Not always, but because I'd love to see the Iranian regime go, right? That'd be great. But is Trump the guy to do it? Thank you, Carrie, for the Sparkle Pony. Is Trump the guy to do it? Probably not. Excellent question from K-Rock. How much is this going to cost? Good question. The Iraq war and the Afghanistan wars cost us trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Right? Actually, Iraq's a good example. It took a long time to get rid of Saddam Hussein. It's not like we bombed and the next day he was gone. Once we got rid of him, I mean, when did we get Hussein? I'm trying to remember. Was it 2005 maybe? When did we finally get him? Alexa, when did Saddam Hussein die? 2006. Okay, 2006. Alexa says 2006. Alexa, stop. Alexa, you can raise your volume too. 2006. We invaded in 2003. Like, it took 3 years to get Saddam. I mean, I was thinking 2005. It took 3 years. Unless I'm wrong, did we not invade in 2003? I remember it being 2003, right? Alexa, when did the Iraq war start? Was it 2003 when we invaded Iraq the second time? 2003, March 20th. Yeah, it was the end of March. Yeah. Alexa, set your volume to 5. Yeah, because I remember it was the end of March, 2003. It took 3 years to get Saddam Hussein, maybe a little bit less, right? But they didn't have him captured long. There you go. Wizard says 2005 they caught him. Yeah, so at least 2 years, 2.5 years it took us to get him. I mean, we bombed the hell out of Iraq. It took 2.5 years, right? That's a big deal. I mean, that's a really big deal. Oh God, will you people please stop this? Oh my God. Hang on. There we go. Oh my God, go away. So the question becomes, we invade Iran, we attack Iran. How long? And Trump wants regime change. In Iraq, it took 2.5 years for regime change to kick in, right? Thank you for the sparkle pony, Jesse. Iraq, it took 2.5 years for regime change. And then what happened? Saddam Hussein was gone in 2006, captured 2005, gone, so to speak, 2006. We were there for 14 more years. I mean, a good 14 more years, right? Before, and we finally kind of gave up because the country was falling apart. And we tried to put, democratic government in charge, right? 14 more years. So the question, this is what gets so difficult with the Iran stuff. Because first of all, as I said, it took 2 to 3 years to get rid of Saddam Hussein with heavy bombing. Will the same thing happen with the mullahs? Will the same thing happen with the Ayatollah? Right? Are we so convinced we're gonna bomb and he'll be gone in 3 weeks? I don't know about that. And after he's gone, is everything going to be honky-dory with the country? Right? It wasn't in Iraq. In Iraq, we got stuck for 14 more years. After Saddam Hussein died, we were there for 14 more years. And it didn't work. Afghanistan a little different. I mean, Afghanistan different because totally different setup. I look at Iraq being more like Iran in some ways, right? Afghanistan much more, I don't know what you want to call it, not just backwards, but you know what I mean? Like it's not as developed and everything else. So anyway, that's a big concern here about what happens. Any case, this could happen at any moment. We've got a massive amount of firepower in the region, a massive amount that's been flown in, but also planes and everything else, probably tanks and everything. Let's see. And again, it's weird because if you don't like the Iranian regime, there's a part of you that looks at this and thinks it'd be nice to see them go. But foreign policy is more complicated than that. We don't make, and I am an expert on foreign policy, you don't make decisions simply on what would be nice. You base them on what is good, what good will come of this, will good come of this? Can it be accomplished, right? Can we pull this off? And the famous question I always tell you guys, if you're going to, one of the things they taught us in graduate school at Georgetown, thank you, lots of sparkle ponies, thank you, Diana. One of the things they taught us in graduate school at Georgetown was, if you are going to overthrow a government, going to overthrow a leader, you need to know who's coming next, because the next guy or gal could be worse. I mean, you need to know who's coming next. At least a month ago, Marco Rubio was asked about this and was told, oh, hey, Montag, nice. What'd you get into Georgetown for? I did JD MSFS, so Masters of Foreign Service and the law degree. Are you undergrad or you grad? Just curious. The other thing that's a concern. Oh, thank you, Spider. Oh, we've got a Trump wig. Okay, Spider just did the Trump wig gift. We have certain gifts on TikTok that come with certain actions, and there is there we go. This one always itches me when I put it on. Is it a distraction from the Epstein files? Yes. I'm not convinced that's why he's doing it, but yes. Having said that, it's a distraction that matters. Meaning, yeah, Epstein's a huge story. Yeah, Epstein has Trump in real trouble, I think. Like I said, Trump is not doing well on the Epstein thing. But war with Iran is important. if he does this, it is a huge deal. We can't just say, oh, well, country's going to war maybe for the next 16 years or 20 years that it took in Iraq. Oh, well, and it's going to cost trillions of dollars, but let's not talk about it because we care about Jeffrey Epstein. No. And so fair point to raise. He might be trying to distract, but it doesn't really matter. It's too big of an issue. So what is going on, since Lyra just joined us, but also good to maybe give a quick summary, again, is, oops, there we go, get my Trump wig off, is Axios had a very interesting story today that basically war with Iran is much closer than people realize, according to the military experts out there talking to Axios. We could be days away from all-out war with Iran, and the military operations are expected to be far more extensive than most people realize, is the other point the Axios article made today. Meaning, this is not going to be a couple months ago, June, when we attacked along with the Israelis and we took out some nuclear reactors and some research places, right? That's not what this is. This is going to be about potentially overthrowing the Iranian regime, and months and months and months, if not years of war to do that. That is very expensive. And it's not always guaranteed that you can pull it off. So let's see. I mean, this is scary stuff, And again, I say it's scary, especially I'm not per se opposed to military action, but it's scary because I don't trust Donald Trump. As you said, I mean, one thing that really worried me in the Axios story, they said Trump was on the verge of launching this military action against Iran in January in response to the Iranian government killing all the peaceful protesters. Iran killed between 6,000 and 20,000 peaceful protesters. Horrific numbers. And Trump was ready to invade based on that. And I read that and I was like, and again, bear with me here, right? Again, I'm somebody very sympathetic to the protesters and I cannot stand the Iranian regime. But you don't go and invade a country and start a war that could go on for years because they killed protesters, even if they killed lots of them. That's a horrible thing they did, but, right? I mean, like, you're just going to start the war because why? Revenge? I don't even understand what that means, right? I mean, here's my point. Either it's in the U.S. national interest to go in or not in Iran. Either we can accomplish our goals of overthrowing the government or we can't. It really shouldn't be contingent on whether the Iranians have killed a lot of protesters, because that doesn't mean that we can pull off our goals, right? If they kill more protesters, you get what I'm getting at? It doesn't really, it's a weird way to decide that you're going in because it doesn't actually affect the bottom line. Just because they killed a bunch of protesters doesn't mean now we can win this. Either we can win it or we can't. Anyway, again, it's very bad. I mean, they killed, like I said, literally the minimum estimate is the Iranian government killing 6,000 protesters. The larger number is up to 20,000. So I mean, it's huge numbers, but I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, things are a little messed up here. The next story is really bad too. We can come back to Iran in the Q&A period at the end of the show here. Next story is very bad. Jonathan Alter, for Our Democracy. Jonathan Alter, longtime journalist. I think he might have been with, I forget if he was with Newsweek before or where he was. A big name in journalism. Wrote for the Washington Monthly yesterday that Trump is basically planning on taking over CNN, in essence. As you know, Trump already controls via his friends, well, our favorite little app that shall not be named, you guys. As you know, the Trump allies now control it. They control the Washington Post via Jeff Bezos, who now is on his knees for Trump. They control CBS News, which is one of the huge American TV networks that used to be objective. It's not anymore. And now they're trying to go after CNN. CNN's parent company, I always got this wrong, but I wrote it down because I always get the names wrong because it's all these companies within companies within companies, right? CNN's parent company, which is Time Warner, is potentially up for sale or people are trying to buy it. Netflix is trying to buy it, Time Warner, which is CNN's a part of. Netflix is trying to buy them, but Trump's buddies, the Ellisons, who bought CBS, want to buy it too. They're with Paramount. They want to buy it. Well, if they buy it, they not only will have control of CBS News for MAGA, they will have control of CNN for MAGA as well. And again, TikTok was just bought by friends. They control Fox News. Washington Post has now been neutered and they've fired half the staff at the Washington Post. I mean, this is getting very scary now in terms of state media. Specifically, what Jonathan Alter is reporting is that Trump has basically told the Department of Justice to come out opposed to the merger between Time Warner and Netflix, right? Those are the good guys, so to speak. Come out opposed to the merger, and let Paramount instead merge with Time Warner so that Trump's buddies can get control of CNN. I mean, and they may just pull it off. Now, how do you stop it? You go to the courts and you try to stop it, but not necessarily clear that this can be done. Very scary stuff. Thank you, Chazak, for the ball. JT asked an interesting question about the Iran stuff. Can this trigger Putin to bomb even more in Ukraine because the U.S. is busy with Iran and cannot give Ukraine more weapons? Yeah, potentially. It means our interest. It also a little bit of a danger for Taiwan too, because if we are busy with a war in Iran, we can devote less effort to Ukraine and less effort to Taiwan. So now I don't know whether Putin has the ability to do more in Ukraine. Thank you, Mel, for the glasses. Like, I don't know whether Putin, you know what I mean? Like, can Putin actually do more in Ukraine right now? I don't know that that's really the case necessarily, right? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Anyway, we shall see. Hey guys, make sure to share my show. Make sure to hit the tap button, the like button, whatever the hell it's called. Tap the screen and follow me on TikTok as well. I'm not going anywhere. We still have more news to talk about, but I always forget to ask you. So do follow me. Do tap the screen. Thank you for the fan club. What else we got here? Oh, this was interesting. Senior Trump officials were briefed last night about the election and how it looks. And they had a pollster, Tony Fabrizio, come in, brief top Trump's officials like the Treasury Secretary and other people. Basically, Trump is freaking out about the election because we have I was going to say parliamentary, a congressional election coming up this November. And currently, Republicans are set to lose control of the House of Representatives. But there is increasing talk about the Senate. Small chance, but there was no chance before. People, and again, in this story, they talk yet again about the possibility of Republicans losing the Senate, which would be huge. It's a small possibility, but I don't know if it's small anymore. Listen to this. So this was from the election update on of the briefing. I think it was from CNN. I couldn't remember. Shit, I forgot. I forget to write down sometimes who I got this from. Last night, senior Trump officials were briefed on polling and messaging surrounding the 2026 elections. The economy will be the issue of the election, the attendees were told. The messages that the Republicans think will break through. Okay, this cracked me up. These are the messages that the Republicans think will break through in the elections and get people to vote for them. Mind you, people are freaked out about inflation, and they're freaked out about just like Trump doing a lot of weird stuff, right? But they're really freaked out about inflation. The messaging, I love that inflation doesn't really come up. This is great. The messaging the Republicans plan on doing or are proposing at their big meeting last night, banning stock trading in Congress. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure we want stock trading in Congress, but like, I'm worried about the economy right now. Stock trading in Congress is not at the top of my list, right? I mean, exactly. I'm okay with banning it, but it's not like that's going to make you feel better about your economic anxiety, right? This is my favorite. Transparency on health insurance data. I went, transparency on health insurance data? What the hell does that mean? I mean, this is their messaging point. Hey, everybody, you vote for the party who's transparent on health insurance data. And you'll be like, what the hell does that mean, right? That doesn't make any sense. Lower prescription drug costs. Okay, that's nice. He's not. He's going to lie and say lower prescription drug costs. We've talked about that. That one at least has to deal with inflation. And Trump's tax cuts. I think the tax cut stuff is a problem. Because if you're not, the tax cuts happened a year ago. If you're unhappy with Trump right now, it doesn't really help to say, hey, I did that thing for you a year ago. Because you're saying there and you're going, well, wait a minute. Clearly, I'm not feeling economically comfortable. I'm worried about the economy. I'm worried about unemployment. I'm worried about inflation. So clearly the tax cut you did a year ago didn't work, right? It didn't fix inflation. It didn't fix unemployment. It didn't fix the economy, right? It didn't fix home prices. It didn't fix mortgage rates. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like he can point to it, but I'm not convinced. I mean, it sounds nice to I cut your taxes, okay, but I'm worried about inflation. Again, I'm worried about inflation. What are you doing about it? Right? That's the big question. There's a little more here. They do mention housing affordability being a big issue for young voters, but as we learned this week, Wall Street Journal article, housing prices are going up across America because of Trump's crackdown on immigration. What happened was the home builders, a lot of the home builders use Latino immigrants to build homes, and Trump's kicked them all out. So all of a sudden they don't have people to build the homes. They've got to hire other people if they can find them. Prices go up. And this Texan, of all things, Republican for Trump, Texan, went and was speaking publicly this week. Maybe, I think he went to the White House too, was talking to members of Congress and said, "You're killing us." Like I think he might be the one who said, South Texas is never going to vote Republican again because of what's going on. So yeah, affordability for home pricing, except you increase the price of homes. So that was nice. What else we got? Men, true independents, and Hispanic voters are the persuadable ones. Hispanic voters? Maybe. Facebook, the Republicans believe that Facebook is the most important social media app for reaching voters, followed by Instagram and TikTok. Here's what they said. Here's what they said about the Senate. The only way the Republicans will lose the Senate is if they lose 50 seats in the House. That's interesting. Losing 50 seats would be a lot. It wouldn't be unheard of because of this turning into a very big wave election. But what's interesting is, again, up until a few weeks ago, nobody was talking about the possibility of Republicans losing control of the Senate in the fall election. They said Democrats currently are going to win the House of Representatives, currently. But Republicans were never going to lose the Senate. Now, remember we said CNN last week? Cook's political report a couple days ago mentioned it. And now you've got these Republican pollsters briefing the Republicans and saying the only way the Republicans lose control of the Senate is if they lose 50 seats in the House. The point is they now see a path to losing control of the Senate. 50 seats is a lot. It's a lot, but it's doable in a super big wave election, Anyway, very interesting. Speaking of elections, CNN reports that Google searches for James Talarico are up hugely. James Talarico is the Texas state legislator that the Trump people tried to ban off of TV, and they censored, they basically preemptively censored CBS and got CBS to pull the interview with him from Stephen Colbert's show. And Colbert then went public, interviewed Talarico privately anyway on YouTube. Well, Talarico's interviews are his name. Talarico's name searches on Google are up 4,900% this week nationwide, and they're up 1,150% in Texas. So it's pure Streisand effect, exactly. It's called the Streisand effect, where basically years ago, somebody had taken photos of Barbara Streisand's home, like her beach home. I think there was a wedding going on or something. And she sued to try to stop them from publishing the photos, which just made everybody share the photos even more. So it became a huge story. Everybody heard about the photos. Everyone saw the photos, all because she tried to stop the photos from spreading. So it's called the Streisand effect, when you try to stop something and you amplify it even more. News today, the White House is pushing the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice hard to find evidence of non-citizen immigrants voting. Non-citizen immigrants, meaning immigrants to the U.S. who have not become citizens yet, whether they're legal or illegal, who knows. But the White House is pushing hard on Homeland Security, Department of Justice, to find somebody, anybody who voted illegally, because, as the New York Times put it, such cases are infinitesimally rare. I showed you guys the study from the Heritage Foundation that found that in one of the states, I think it might have been in Pennsylvania, the rate of voter fraud was 0.00005 something. There were 4 zeros, 0.00005% rate of election fraud. They found in a 30-year period there were 100 million ballots cast, and only 39 ballots or 39 people registered fake who shouldn't have been registered illegally. But out of 30 years, 100 million ballots, 39. That's like one a year. One a year doesn't, and they didn't all vote. They just were registered. One a year doesn't change anything. So yeah, you get it. Why would Trump be trying to convince people that a lot of people are stealing the election? Because he's trying to pass all these other things. I can't talk about all in depth because TikTok gets very upset. Every time we talk about this stuff, TikTok gets very upset, which is kind of difficult because how are we supposed to talk about what's happening in our country if we can't just mention what's happening in our country without getting dinged and stuff? It's a little weird. Anyway, Trump officials are limiting FEMA travel to disaster areas. FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. It is the government agency that responds to disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, wildfires. Trump has vowed to get rid of FEMA. Trump doesn't think it matters. Trump even said, which was insane during the campaign, that the reason he was going to get rid of FEMA, which is our emergency management agency to deal with floods and everything else, the reason he was going to get rid of them was because states can deal with these disasters better than the federal government. And it's a cute Republican line. Here's the problem. FEMA, and you can Google this, FEMA exists to get involved when the disaster is so large that states can't handle it. That's why FEMA exists. FEMA gets involved when the state says to the federal government, we're overwhelmed, please help us. This disaster is so bad. Trump says he's going to get rid of FEMA because the local states can do it better, except FEMA exists only to help when the local states can't do it better. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Well, Trump is now banning FEMA officials from flying around the country to disasters. We've got 14 disaster areas around the United States, currently 14 disasters right now, active, and Trump has banned officials from visiting them. Here's why. Because Department of Homeland Security is shut down. Because remember, they've got that negotiation going on between the Democrats and the Republicans. Democrats don't want Homeland Security and ICE to be publicly executing innocent American citizens on our streets. Trump has less of an issue with that. And so the government got shut down. The government, the Homeland Security Agency funding got held up because Democrats said, no, you're going to require badges. You're going to require, name tags. You're going to require that they don't have masks anymore. You're going to require cameras. They're going to have to use real warrants, not these cute little ones issued by your agency. Well, while they're negotiating that, the funding lapsed for the agency. So the agency has not been funded. ICE has more than enough money. And secondly, critical functions go on. When the government shuts down, critical functions do not shut down. By law, they've got to continue and they'll get paid afterwards. So things like airport security, the military. The military doesn't shut down when the government shuts down. It's not like we don't have a military if we get attacked. Military has to work anyway. They get paid afterwards. FEMA is one of those critical areas where they have to keep working anyway. This is the first time Trump is shutting down officials from FEMA traveling around the country to help address disasters. He's stopping them from addressing disasters because he claims he's doing it because of the shutdown. Except the shutdown doesn't stop FEMA officials from going to disasters. They're exempt from the shutdown. They've always been exempt from the shutdown. You can Google the story. You never stop FEMA people from traveling during shutdowns. They can always travel. Trump is shutting it off anyway because he's trying to embarrass Democrats and put pressure on them. Again, he's trying to put pressure on Democrats by stopping partially federal response to 14 disasters around the country. I mean, right? Yeah, all of this is impeachable. I mean, it's all impeachable, but right, Republicans control the Congress, so you're not going to see it. The Vatican today, this is great. The Vatican today said it will not participate in Donald Trump's Board of Peace initiative. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's top diplomatic official, said yesterday, while adding that the efforts to handle crisis situations should be managed by the UN. This is great. It's from CNN. CNN reported earlier Wednesday that Cardinal Parolin, the Holy See Secretary of State, told reporters they will not take up the invitation to join the Board of Peace, adding the Vatican was left perplexed by some points of the plan. The Vatican was perplexed by what Trump was proposing, and that critical issues need to be resolved, and that it should be through the United Nations. Now, let me clarify, because I was talking to a friend today who wasn't even aware this was going on. The Board of Peace, it was the organization that was going to be set up to oversee Gaza. Remember, part of the whole ceasefire, which, let's see what happens. There's only a ceasefire right now between Hamas and the Israelis. Part of it was there would be this Board of Peace with 20 people represented on it, and Tony Blair was going to help, and they would help make sure that Gaza remains free or whatever the hell, right? Then we find out, and this is why so many countries aren't joining, then we find out the Board of Peace is no longer about Gaza. It's basically a United Nations, an alternative to the United Nations. It gets much worse. The Board of Peace, first of all, countries have to be invited. Trump has only invited some of them. You can join for a couple of years, maybe like 3, I think, and then you're kicked off. The only way you can stay permanently and become a permanent member is if you give Trump $1 billion. Okay, $1 billion. 5 countries have allegedly already done this, $5 billion. You're not giving $5 billion to the United States. You're giving it to Donald Trump, chairman of the Board of Peace, which is a private organization. He set up a private organization that he's the head of. The President of the United States is not the head of the Board of Peace. Donald Trump is the head of the Board of Peace. When Donald Trump is no longer president, Donald Trump will still be the head of the Board of Peace. If he lives another 20 years, he will remain the head of the Board of Peace. It's not the United States. He set up his own private thing where they take money in from all these governments. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane what he's doing. The money, God knows where the money's going. Presumably it's in a private bank account. Again, it is not a United States government entity. I mean, my favorite point too was that dog wants a little pet. We'll give you a little pet. There we go. My other favorite point was that the voting. The members, each member of the Board of Peace has a vote, and they'll make decisions by majority rule or something like that. Except Donald Trump, as the chairman, gets to veto anything he doesn't like. So everyone gets a vote, and then it goes to Donald Trump, and he goes, right? It's the Coliseum, and he decides what proposals live and what proposals don't live. I mean, it's not about Gaza at all. It's Donald Trump's alternative to the United Nations, where he's appointed. I mean, honestly, it's like something out of Revelations. I mean, it really is like, and then he becomes the king of the world with billions of dollars. It's like, okay, that's a little creepy, but okay. Very weird stuff. I know. How is any of this plausible? Who the hell knows, right? What else we got? FDA, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, has reversed its decision to basically ban Moderna's new flu vaccine. Moderna has a new flu vaccine based on mRNA that is apparently very effective. Trump's FDA, with RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., refused to even review the vaccine. They turned in the vaccine and said, hey, here you go. We got a new vaccine. We've got great data. And Trump's people said, nope, we're not even going to review it, because it was mRNA. They don't like mRNA is the same vaccine, right, that was used to combat COVID. And it became a big boogeyman for these guys. So they weren't going to review a flu vaccine that could help us all, save lives, because it was mRNA, and they don't like that. So they just changed their mind today after a lot of pressure, which is good. Juan Nicolas, a 2-month-old suffering from bronchitis who spent 3 weeks in the Dili trailer prison. Remember, this is the little kid the little 2-month-old baby they had in prison. Actually, 1-month-old and now 2-month-old baby they had in prison who got bronchitis and was non-responsive and stuff. The ICE people did this. He's been deported by ICE along with his mother. So they abandoned them across the border in Mexico. This kid just got out of the hospital. He's 2 months old. They dumped them across the border, according to Joaquin Castro, U.S. representative. What else we got here? Okay, this was wild. Listen to this. Trump is using AI to deny Medicare claims. Medicare is the health insurance program that we have for seniors, for retired people in America. It's from the New York Times. I'd heard about this a while ago, but we hadn't talked about it. The federal government plans to hire private companies to use artificial intelligence to determine whether patients would be covered for some procedures like certain spine surgeries or steroid injections. Currently, right, you know, there's a lot of procedures that are covered under Medicare, right? And you if you're not Medicare Advantage, you get the procedures. Thank you, JPT. Trump now is doing a test run in 6 states where they're using AI to decide on certain high-profile procedures whether you get turned down. Now, the favorite is I'm reading this, and it says Medicare plans to, the government says the AI screening tool would focus narrowly on about a dozen procedures which it has determined to be costly and of little benefit to patients. Listen to the procedures that they say are costly and of little benefit. Procedures include devices for incontinence control. That means you can't stop going to the bathroom, right? You lose it in your pants. They don't want to fund that anymore. Cervical fusion. Cervical fusion, I believe, is spinal when I could have to have this someday, actually, when they fuse 2 of your spine, your vertebrae together because you're having spinal problems. How is that? I know people who have gotten that. It was quite effective. How is that? They think it's not effective. So they don't want to cover that anymore. Certain steroid injections for pain management, that would be my back as well. I've had steroid injections to help with the, and I probably have to get another one now because my back is back to not being good again. Select nerve stimulators. Listen to this, and here's a favorite. And the diagnosis and treatment of impotence. They're no longer going to treat impotence for people who are retired. I mean, can you... Actually, that one I'm kind of glad because that one's going to for sure affect the men. They need something that's going to affect the men because then the men will be furious. They're out of their minds. Check this out. Oh, it gets better. The company they've hired, or they're going to hire to do the AI stuff, so they're going to use AI to review your Medicare stuff and decide whether or not you get certain Medicare treatments or whether you get denied. Listen to this. The companies that selected to oversee the program would have a strong financial incentive to deny claims, according to the New York Times. Medicare plans to pay the AI companies a share of the savings granted from the rejections. They're going to pay the AI company a percentage of every claim they deny. That should be against the law. Hey, hi, I know. Hi, you want to play? I know you do. Somebody's feeling a little better today because she's in a super playful mood. I know. Hi, I ordered some more toys. They're coming tomorrow. We're going to try. They're giving companies a percentage of every Medicare denial. Now, I'm telling you, I've done computer programming. I'm telling you right now, somebody is programming these AI. You don't think the people running the company have an incentive to say, okay, well, everybody you turn down, we get a percentage, so maybe we'd like more turned down than accepted, right? Maybe we'd like to lean a little that way. I mean, you think they're going to keep people on staff who approve everything? This stuff should be illegal. Radio Free Asia has resumed broadcast to people in China after the Trump administration last year cut massive funding to Voice of America and Radio Free Asia. They had to cease operations. They apparently, the Trump people finally were like, oh, I guess broadcasting like, you know, real news about the world into China that is super censored might be beneficial. What do you want now? Let me give the dog a little bit of water. It's 6:45. Dog gets water. 1 moment, and then we'll keep going. 1 second, you. A little bit of water, and I'll even give you one of these. Even though I know you. I know you. Here, right? There you go. All right. All right. I gave her water and a little treat. We'll see if it helps. Caroline, so let's talk a little bit the war in Ukraine too. Caroline Levitt on the war in Ukraine. This quote was incredible today. Thank you for the hat, William. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Appreciate it. Listen to this. Caroline Levitt, who's the White House spokesperson, gets asked today about the war in Ukraine, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. because we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary. Here's what she had to say. Listen to this. The president views this entire situation as unfair, not just for the Russians and Ukrainians who have lost their lives, but also for the American taxpayers who were footing the bill for this war effort before President Trump put a stop to it. First of all, the war in Ukraine is not unfair to the Russians who are losing their lives. The Russians invaded their neighbor in a bald power grab in order to wipe Ukraine off the map. They wanted to literally wipe Ukraine off the map and make it part of Russia. Okay? For the US government to say, this war is so unfair to the Russians because so many of them are dying, it's so unfair, right? Second point, unfair to the US taxpayers who were footing the bill. As of a good year ago, before Trump came to office, the Europeans had spent about twice as much money on the war as we had. So that's a lie. We did not spend more than the Euro. We did a lot, but the Europeans spent twice as much as we did. And now it's even more than that. Really amazing. Finally, actually two final things. Nigeria. So remember how the Russians used to be kidnapping people, foreigners, to fight in the war? They're doing it again. Nigeria has warned its citizens, again, this was, I think, from Agence France Presse. Nigeria has warned its citizens, actually, this is a summary I wrote, but it's not from Agence, but the story was, Nigeria warned its citizens against being recruited into foreign armed conflicts after reports revealed that Nigerians were deceived into fighting for Russia in Ukraine. Nigerians were misled or coerced into signing military contracts and then deployed to combat zones. Kenyans are reporting the same thing. They're being promised well-paying jobs in Russia, and once they get there, they're being forced to sign military contracts that they can't read. So they're told, oh, we got a really good job for you, high pay. They get there, they go, here, sign the contract. They sign the contract. It's in Russian, and it actually says they're joining the Russian military to fight at the front in Ukraine, right? The other ones are South Africa, same problem, and Uganda, same problem. I have to do a little hardy har, though. These are all of Russia's allies, and Russia responded by kidnapping their citizens and forcing them to go to war for them. Really nice. Finally, there is a new Getty image of Donald Trump's hand that I will just show you. It's a little weird. Let me see, I've got it here. This was today from Getty. This is the latest image of Donald Trump's hand. I kid you not. This is the swelling, the discoloration is because he has makeup on it because the dark spot is getting bigger. This is literally a Getty image of Trump's hand. Today, you can Google it. That's all I'll say about that. Hi, dog. I know. Hi. Anyway, all right. Let's hang and talk. Oh, I'm going to adjust this so I can sit back because my back is bothering me again. This physical therapy, I swear to God, I think it's making me worse. Anyway, I'm not happy about this. My back is hurting more than it has before after my physical therapy. I know. Anyway. What else? Hi, dog. Oh, my God. Usually she whines. Today she just wants to play. I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah, too many handshakes, except it's both hands. And you know what? He doesn't have to shake hands. If his hand is that hurt, he comes, hey, sorry, guys. I mean, you're the president of the United States. You get to say, sorry, guys, can't shake hands. Hands kind of sore. That's it. That's all you have to do. You're the president of the world. You're the leader of the free world. Well, he was, right? That's all you have to say. So, anyway. Oh, God. I've already got an ergonomic chair, unless you're talking about Donald Trump. Cool, dude. I've got a very expensive ergonomic chair. Hey, Louise. Doesn't mean my setup is ergonomic, but this chair is a $1,200 ergonomic chair. I did not pay $1,200, but it is. Remember, you guys, somebody, what's it called again? I keep saying Herman Miller. What's it called? I keep forgetting. Airlon or whatever it is, or what's the name? Some name like that. I always forget. I think it's Airlon or something, isn't it? I forget. Anyway. Yeah, it might be Flying Muddick. Yeah, that's the mug that the woman's daughter made for me. Oh, Herman Munster. Exactly. It's a Herman Munster chair. That would be kind of fun. It's a Herman Munster chair. Predictions for which war, Cecil? You mean Ukraine or which? I don't even know. Did not. Oh, I did see that. Yeah. Well, I only saw a quick story about the camps and the kids. There were some kind of raids at the ICE camp that kids were drawing pictures and letters that they were like getting out to the world. So they raided the kids' rooms to confiscate their letters, to confiscate their drawings. And I literally read it right before the show, and I didn't have time to kind of read it more in depth, so I didn't add it onto the list. But like shocking stuff. Raiding kids in prison because you're afraid the kid is going to draw a drawing that's embarrassing to you. I mean, seriously? Like, my God, it's insane. Absolutely insane. Anyway, are building materials tariffed? Yes. Wood from Canada would be a building material that's been tariffed. I don't know where it stands now. Well, every tariff, we know that even when he agrees to tariffs, the low level is 15%. So at least the cost is going at 15% for lumber. But he's been so pissed at Canada that it's probably higher. I don't know what it is right now. I don't know if Alexa would know that. Alexa, do you know what the current tariff is for lumber coming in from Canada?
The current tariff for Canadian lumber is 45%. Oh! 10% Section 232 tariff added.
Oh! Alexa, pause. 45%, Alexa just said? Which would not be surprising because he's being nuts about Canada. If so, that's huge. 45% would be insane. Let's just double check. What's the current tariff on lumber coming from Canada into the U.S.? Let's see if ChatGPT agrees. Let's see.
Currently, Canadian softwood lumber going into the U.S. faces both anti-dumping and countervailing duties, plus a national security tariff. The combined duty rate as of late 2025 is roughly 35% or more.
Okay, that's close. Alexa's saying 45%, and ChatGPT is saying 35% or higher. So that's in the same ballpark. Wow. Google or Alexa? Google. I was asking if I prefer Google or Alexa. Alexa used to be very dumb. Google was okay, but Google was still like doing a Google search. It wasn't like using AI. I don't know how it is now. I do know that Alexa got like a brain transplant, Abby Normal, a couple weeks ago, and talking to Alexa is now like talking to ChatGPT. You can ask it complicated things, and it can, like, even that. Before, Alexa would have never been able to figure that out. How much the duties were, how much the tariffs were. Forget it. Siri, forget it. Siri, I don't think Siri can do that. Stop. Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Now, one thing I discovered with my phone, though, I can click my phone and say, ask ChatGPT, blah, 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 and it'll ask ChatGPT instead of Siri. And maybe I think that must be some setup I did or something. I don't know. YouTube is still around, and it's been around. YouTube isn't back up. What do you mean? It's still there. YouTube, you still there? I have Sonos speakers as well, Paula. Yep. No, Google, I found Google. I think Alexa may have surpassed Google. I think it may. Yeah, Terry. I mean, Vance is a tough one. Terry says she thinks we can deal more with Vance. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, JD Vance. The thing is, JD Vance is so slippery, that, and he's super anti-Europe and everything else. But then again, I don't know that thank you, Annie. It does red cheeks too. I didn't realize. That's very funny for the cold. That's funny. YouTube had a major outage last night. I didn't know that. Okay, did not know that. But yeah, like JD Vance can't really be trusted. So I don't know whether, look, I suspect that JD Vance is less a danger to the Republic than Donald Trump. I suspect. He's very bad though. But I'm willing to roll the dice and, go with somebody else. Yeah. But, he's not great, clearly, right? Clearly. Anyway. Marco Rubio is tough because Marco Rubio is a traditional conservative, but he's also, blows with the wind. He's kind of like Lindsey Graham in that way. So currently Marco Rubio has decided he's MAGA. So that, and I mean, he's very conservative, but he is sane. If he's his own man, Marco Rubio would be way better than Trump. He's still very conservative and everything, but he's not crazy, you know? Just hit our C-17s in case C-135 tankers headed to the Middle East. I'm not surprised. Oh. I'm not sure what you mean by do I believe any other new candidates are a better fit for the presidency. Literally everyone is a better fit for the presidency than Donald Trump. So I'm not sure what you mean. Up. Rubio is a yes man. That's what I mean. But without Trump, maybe he'd be normal yes man. He's just very conservative, but you know, that's better than this, you know? Yeah, my dog's a better fit too. My pet rock is a better fit. Oh, man, so tired. Are traditional Republicans waiting in the wings? I mean, they created one hell of a movement here. Oh, did she? Oh, she is there. I didn't realize. Hi. My dog is on YouTube and Substack. My dog is like in the corner looking at me begging. Hi, I'm right here. Hello. Hi, I know. See, I think she's feeling better today because today has not been begging for food. It's been begging for, hi, I know, hi. It's been begging for attention. And that's what this is right now. This is begging for attention. Yeah, yeah. I hear, now we're going to whine a little bit. Okay. I'm telling you, Mom's dog drove me nuts, but Kukla was good for one thing. She liked to just lay there and be with you. Kukla, if she was sitting on your lap, she could spend 12, 14 hours on your lap and she's happy. My dog wants to play chess all day. I mean, it's like, oh my God. It's insane, you know? Anyway. Oh, we got 10 people on Substack. Excellent. Substackers. Good to see you guys. Do I think Trump overall has better policies than Biden? Not at all. No. I mean, it's always possible on some stuff, but I'm hard pressed. I'm trying to think. There was something recently where we were like, yeah, that wasn't terrible. But he's horrific on most things, I think, since you ask. Now I'm petting her behind me now. She's, I know, hello. Want to lick my hand. There we go. There you go. Oh, I got a quick lick. Okay, that's better. No, like I said, she's feeling. We did go for a walk today. We didn't go too far, but we went to visit one of the neighbors she likes. So that got her. My dog got her a little bit because her back legs have been bothering her for almost 2 months now. Like December. Actually, it has been 2 months. December 20th or so. So, but she's finally feeling like today. I could tell was a little better. So, we did start the ABC ointment. The tincture of ABC that I'm not going to say what it really is. I do stream on Substack. I am right now, kind-hearted. Yep. And whether that's helping, who knows? I'm going slow. Gave less than a dose. Now she's getting a full dose, but just in the morning. I'm going to do a couple days of that, and then morning and afternoon, and we'll see if it helps. I hope it helps. Certainly, today she's feeling better. I mean, I still don't know that she could walk far. See, that's what's hard is it's like, anyway, whatever. Tell the dog. It's hard because she likes to do stuff. Like if she were my mom's dog, if she were my mom's dog, she'd be happy just laying around. My dog does not like laying around. Marjorie Taylor Greene for president, that'd be bad. That'd be bad. It must be remembered that Marjorie Taylor Greene has said a lot of crazy things before she turned on Trump. I'm glad she turned on Trump. She's been saying good things since then, but overall, she's a little wacky, and that's being generous. Talarico, I mean, I've got to learn more about him. Talarico is the guy from Texas who's running for Senate, still a primary, but running for Senate, and he is the one that Trump's people basically got banned earlier in the week from being on a comedy show of all things, and but I don't know enough about him other than I like him. I mean, when I hear him talk, I really like him, but I need to I need to Google more. Excuse me, to sort of hi. Oh my God, we're circling now. like a shark, like a little 10-pound shark. Yeah, I mean, Jasmine's good too, so, we'll see. Richie Cunningham, yeah. Oh, I don't think so. Heel man said, did I have a favorite president growing up? I'm really not somebody like that. I don't have favorites. I mean, I have favorite food, but I don't really have favorite. People are like, favorite movies, and I'm like, I don't know. Favorite book, I'm like, I don't know. So it's hard for me to say. I don't think I have favorite presidents. I really don't. Stephen Miller is a problem, but he's not the problem. Donald Trump's the problem, right? Donald Trump hired Stephen Miller because Stephen Miller reflects Donald Trump's thinking. Now, Stephen Miller is a problem, huge problem in the White House, yes. He's very smart and evil, but Donald Trump is not very smart and still evil, I would argue, so that in the end, it's letting Trump off a little bit, saying, well, his staff is bad. He hired bad staff on purpose. Bad meaning, evil. Is he a Presbyterian pastor? There was something about him I remember being religious, Talarico. I didn't remember what it is. But yeah, Jasmine Crockett seems really cool too. So I don't know. We'll see. The primary is, I'm guessing 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks from today? 1 or 2 weeks from today, probably. Alexa, when is the Texas primary that's coming up? Did I call her Alexis? Alexa, when is the Texas primary that is upcoming? March 5th?
The Texas primary election is on March 3rd, 2026.
March 3rd.
Voting starts today, February 17th, and goes through February.
March 3rd, Corvette. That was election disinformation. You gave the wrong day. So that's 2 weeks from now. Yes, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks. The 3rd. The 5th. That's like when people say, oh, yeah, the election's on Thursday this year. Sure it is, right? People would do that to try to con people out of not voting. So, yes. Oh, hey, Jay Kraft. Thank you for the flowers. So, yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So, early voting, though? Okay. Right, Dave, right. Right. It's always Tuesdays here. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Talarico constantly talks about Christianity in a country that's separation of religion and state. Yeah, but you know what? I want him to win, so I don't really care. If it gets another Democratic senator from Texas, he can, put a 666 tattoo on his head for all I care. So I'm with you, but I don't care. I don't care. It's too important to get to win these elections, What else, guys? Beto. I like Beto. Beto has not been very good at winning elections in Texas. Nice guy. I thought he was very bad when he debated Ted Cruz, like very bad. He was not good. I like Beto a lot. He seems like a genuinely good guy, Beto O'Rourke. He doesn't seem to campaign very well. At least, like I said, the debate was terrible. He didn't really get on my nerves. I like him, but I just thought he was terrible at the debate. So I was like, I was watching going, oh God, I mean, he's somebody where he's tried several times and failed. I think he needs to figure out how to up his game if he wants to keep trying, basically, Oh, hey, Zia. Good to see you over on Substack. Is Beto running again? Is he in the primary? I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Beto would be a good, I don't know. I mean, he's failed a lot, though, which I'm not a big fan of, I mean, well, how do you guys feel about the whole Kamala Harris thing? Just curious about her running again as the presidential candidate. We could do one of our polls. Actually, not a bad idea. I can't do, you know what? I don't think I can do it here. Can I? I don't think so. I don't think I can. Let me look here. Not on StreamYard, people. Oops. Notes. Oh, interesting. Style. No, I don't think so. Media assets. I thought there was a poll option. No, they got this funny sound option, but not the polls. The applause. Wait. Yeah, I don't have polls on StreamYard, unfortunately. If any of the mods want to set it up on TikTok, go ahead. But I'm just curious, yeah, like Kamala Harris running again. I'm not going to say what I think yet, although I've said it before. But I'm curious to see what you guys say first. I'm saying I can't, still denying brilliance. What is that? We need candidates who can win. Oh, won't let you? Interesting. I don't know why. Depends who she's running with. I don't know if the running mate matters too much. Thank you, Terry, for the glasses. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Jeffrey says, I like Kamala Harris and voted for her, but I think there's still too many people that are not ready for a woman to be president. NJ says in Substack, not keen on her any longer. She didn't take a stand on Gaza, though I believe she would have been more effective. She just wouldn't take a stand. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Red, for the gift. I mean, you know. Gaza is like not high up on my list right now in terms of, because we're dealing with Donald Trump. You know what I mean? I also think no Democrat. I'm sorry, but generally speaking, the country is shifting on Israel, but generally speaking, America is still pretty pro-Israel. And you run into some real problems being anti-Israel or whatever, so that it is hard for somebody running for president to pull that off. It is. So I don't fault her for that. I just feel like, in my view, she tried and failed. And she failed against Donald Trump, which was it was a big deal losing to that guy. Look what it's done to our country. And to some degree, like, he wasn't the great, people already knew who he was and how bad he was, and he won anyway. I feel like she tried and lost. We need to save the country, not give Kamala Harris another chance to fulfill her destiny. That is the bottom of my list of importance right now, right? We need to win. And like I said, if running my dog will let us win, then let's have my dog run. Or my pet rock. I don't care. I'm not convinced it's her anymore. That's a question. She could have. Yeah, Jeffrey says, could she have won if she had the full amount of time? I don't know. Maybe. If she had 2 years for a primary and everything else, maybe. Hard to say. Just because who knows, right? Would it have been more time for Republicans to demonize her, or more time for Democrats and for her to get her story out there? I don't know. And to some, having said that, I don't think we had a choice because, and I said this, thank you, lady, for the gifts. 3 months before the election, we're picking a new candidate. If the president is stepping down in terms of not running, it almost per se has to be the vice president. Who else would it be? You know what I mean? You can't have a primary. And it would look especially bad because she's black and a woman. So the vice president clearly would be the person in the lead. You're not picking her? Like, you piss women off and you piss the black voters off too, who are two huge constituencies for Democrats. Just isn't politically very smart. But also, you don't have the luxury of a primary. Who else would you pick? So I don't really fault Democrats for running her, because who else do you? Frankly, that was Biden's fault, right? Biden's the one who should have made clear from the beginning that he wasn't running again, and that we could have had a real primary. Well, Gunther says we need to learn our lesson, but the problem is, this stuff keeps going on and we may never come back from learning our lesson. That's my concern. I agree to some degree the country needs to hit rock bottom and say, maybe this isn't what we want in this country, this kind of leadership, but it could end our democracy. And then we're going to have this kind of leadership for the rest of our lives. There is that risk, Yep, we are almost there. Hit the tab. We're 100,000 likes on TikTok. Oh, we'll be there. We got enough because we got another couple minutes. Bashir, I don't really know much about Bashir. Yeah, seems nice, but I don't have any strong feelings on him. Jon Stewart, no, I used to love Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart has a curmudgeonly side to him that's not good. He's got a bitchy side. Sometimes he just kind of, but he gets kind of nasty and like turns on Democrats and like, I sometimes, he's very smart and very good, but sometimes I feel like, and I will say too, like, as he's gotten older, he just seems, and maybe it's the hair, I don't know, but he seems kind of mean now. Yeah, I'm not going to be me, that's for sure. He seems really mean, Jon Stewart, and I don't like that about him. You know, whenever I see him talk, he's brilliant. I saw something the other day with him. He was brilliant. But he just kind of comes across, I mean, for the MAGA people, they'd love that, but it's a little mean for my taste. You know? Anyway. I mean, you could be a good curmudgeon. I mean, in the sense where I think he's getting older and angry is what it feels like to me. And I don't like that. A little too much anger already in this administration. You know, we need an Obama. This is where Buttigieg is good on the hope thing. I'd like somebody who's able to give like hope and goodness and stuff would be nice. You know, I don't know who that is, who would be the best candidate, right? But, you know, I hear you. Just wait, dog. Couple more minutes and we're done. Couple minutes and we're done. Craziness. I did buy her more toys today. We'll see tomorrow. Gavin, you know, look, Newsom, I don't understand sort of the negative attack on Newsom. People say I've heard people say he's smarmy or whatever. And I'm like, no, he seems very good. He's amazing at being an attack dog. He's just amazing. He knows how to get under Trump's skin. He knows every time the Republicans try to hit him with something, he knows how to hit them back even harder. Too smug? Maybe. Hey, I know. Hi, you. Whining again. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Kamala Harris. Do you think Kamala Harris should run again? No, 24%. Yes, 75%. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yes, 24%. No, 75% on our TikTok folks. That's interesting. Wow. That's 3-1 against. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Oops. Just trying to make it go away. There it is. Very interesting. Oh, what is that? Oh, thank you, Mario. Mario's gifting memberships again. I don't know if it's going to show me who got it. Does it show on your end? It's not showing on my end who got it or whether maybe nobody got it yet, Mario. Just curious who. All right, guys, I'm about to call it quits here. We're already quarter after. Dog is whining, you know, the usual. His hair is too nice. It is possible. I mean, it's funny. I know what you mean. These are things people notice, you know. I don't know. I don't know what's for dinner. I've got to look. I'm not going to eat a ton tonight, but anyway, thank you, JPT. That's the thing is I think we do need a pit bull. He's good. He's good at messaging, but I don't know. You know? Anyway. All right. I'm going to get going, guys. Good to see you all. Thank you. Because I've also once we finish the show, then I've got to get the time. There's a transcript I get that has time slots that I put on YouTube. And it's like a whole additional process of 20 more minutes after I'm done. So thank you for joining, guys. Thank you for the gifts, TikTok and YouTube. Thank you for subscribing, Substack, and everybody else. Twitch is out there too. Instagram, Facebook, you name it. You're all out there. LinkedIn as well. Anyway, I will see you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. So join me then. Thank you, TikTok. All right, let me start this. Discord, I'll start with you guys while the dog is whining. All right, by Discord. I hear you. Stop. Oh, my God. Stop. Oh, my God. All right, big collection. TikTok, you're next. Big collection over here. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. All right.